So we see how we use place value to get the most of our only 10 symbols for numbers. Previously, we've only seen 3 places: the units, or ones place, the tens place, and the hundreds place. So we can write, for example, 583. Well, we know what this place next here is, right? This is the thousands place. In fact, we have, beyond the hundreds place, thousands, where each thousand is 10 hundreds, 10 thousands, where each 10,000 is, creatively enough, 10 thousands, and the 100,000s, where each 100,000 is 10 thousands. So we could fill this in as 602,583. All right, what if we have 10 hundred thousands? Well, that would be 1,000 thousands, which gets a new word. So beyond 100,000, 10 100,000 is called a million. And then 10 million is just 10 million. 10 millions, that's 100 millions. So we would read this number as 517,602,583. All right, what if we have 10 hundred million? This is where it starts to get a little bit confusing, but I'm only going to talk about the way we describe numbers in American English. 10 hundred million is called a billion. So a billion is 1,000 million, or 10 hundred million. Then 10 billion is just called 10 billion. 10 billions is 100 billions. We could read this number as 132,517,602,583. What's beyond 100 billion? 10 hundred billions, 1,000 billion gets a new word, and that word is trillion. So 1,000 billion is a trillion, 10 trillion is just 10 trillion, 10 tens of trillions is 100 trillion. So if we encountered this whole number in the wild, 539,132,517,602,583, we would read it as 539 trillion, 132 billion, 517 million, 602,583. Now that's easy to see when it's in this table like this. When it's just written out as one long number, it's much harder. And the reason that it's much harder to see in one long number is that it's not divided into these convenient groups of 3. What do? We divide it into the convenient groups of 3. We start out counting from the right. This last group of 3 is going to be the units group. Another group of 3, this is going to be the thousands group. Another group of 3, this is going to be the millions group. Another group of 3, this is going to be the billions group. And then another group of 3, this is going to be the trillions group. Units, thousands, millions, billions, trillions. And then in each group we have ones, tens, hundreds. We would read this group of 3 digits, 539 trillion, 132 billion, 517 million, 602,583. And we don't need to say units, but we could. We don't need to remember 15 place values. We need to remember 5 groups and then the same pattern within each group. How do we remember millions, billions, trillions in that order? Well, millions is a little bit tricky, but if you like, you can think mono, like mono speakers, means 1. This isn't really where million comes from, so I'm a little hesitant about this. You might also do well to just remember million is the first one. But then bi, billion, bi, is the same bi as in bicycle. Trillion, tri, is the same tri. as in tricycle. Bi, two, bicycle, two wheels. Tri, three, tricycle, three wheels. Oh, 1,000 trillion has a name. It's a quadrillion. I'm not writing that down because you're not responsible for it. And keeps going in that same pattern with these common prefixes, bi meaning two, tri meaning three, quad meaning four, quint meaning five, and so on. The key idea here, though, is before we read a long number, we need to put it in what's called standard form. In standard form, commas separate the groups of digits. What groups of digits? These groups of digits. From the one furthest to the right, which is the units place, and moving to the left. So if we encountered the number this, I'm not going to try to read this without putting it in standard form. We would start at the right, 1, 2, 3 digits, 1, 2, 3 digits, 1, 2, 3 digits, 1, 2, 3 digits. So let's see, units, thousands, millions, billions, trillions. Nothing in the 10 trillions or 100 trillions place, so we don't really think about that. We have a 3 all by itself, which we just call 3. And then the name of the group, trillion. And then when writing words, I include a comma. This is not strictly necessary, but it's useful. 0, 0, 0 billion. Oh, well, these are all zeros. There's nothing here. We don't need to mention billions. 789, and then the name of the group, million. 125, and then the name of the group, 1,000. 641. Would we ever encounter this written out? No, we wouldn't. We would say this out loud. We would encounter this with someone else saying it to us. Unfortunately, in class, we like to be able to read and write to communicate with each other, like on tests and things. So I will be asking you to write a number like this in words on a test, read a number like this in words on a test, but the goal is speaking and listening, not reading and writing. And again, remember, our first and most important step was writing standard form. Oh, there's one other thing I'd like to call your attention to before we work one of these going in the other direction. This number, you might in casual conversation read as 641. That's fine in casual conversation. Everyone knows what you mean, but formally the and doesn't go there. We use and in reading numbers in a very specific way that we're going to meet later on. You should avoid it in numbers like this because it will cause confusion. So formally, there's no and in 641. Let's try going the other way around. Let's imagine we're hearing someone say the number 504,083,427. Let's imagine that we're hearing them say this in time, so we have to start at the beginning as we understand it. 504 billion. So we know we need 504. Of course, we need a 0 here because otherwise it would be 54. 504 billion. So we'll put a comma. 83 million. Now we know we need 3 digits in the millions group. 83 is only going to give us 2 digits, but 83 is no 183. So 83 million. 427. Not 427,000. So we have 504 in the billions group, 83 in the millions group, nothing in the thousands group, 427. That doesn't look like a number, does it? What if we got a have in the thousands group? Well, we have no thousands. So zeros in the thousands group. Key idea here. These groups are very, very powerful in reading and understanding large numbers. These commas are required if you're going to need to use the power of the groups. In this standard form, that means the form with the commas, numbers with 5 or more digits must have commas. Numbers with 4 digits may have commas. If you just go to the thousands place, the commas aren't strictly required. I like to put in commas in 4-digit numbers if they're around 5 or 6-digit numbers. If the 4-digit numbers are only around 2 and 3-digit numbers, I tend to leave the commas out. And of course, 3 or fewer digit numbers have no use for commas. Now, another skill that we're going to need to use with these large numbers is locating a specific place value. We might be asked, for example, to locate the 100 millions place in this number, units, thousands, millions, billions, 24,062,219,900. Okay, we've got the units group, the thousands group, the millions group. We want to locate the 100 millions place, millions, 10 millions, 100 millions. Here it is. We might ask this question as what digit is in the 100 millions place? The answer, of course, in this case is 0.